Hello, my friends. How are you today? I am having a good day. And I just literally need to correct this. So it was not Frank Ocean. The song that I like is Confidence, and it's by Bad Karma, which I don't have any of that coming my way because I am out here just giving acts of kindness, right? So it was Confidence, sped up version by Bad Karma. And I love the song. Like literally I have this thing where like I wake up in the morning and there is like a song already playing on loop. And it's like this game where I have to like, the song will either keep playing or I need to like hear that song and it'll shut it off. Or sometimes like another song will come in because like I'm listening to the radio or whatever happens. But most of the time it's like, okay, fine, I will play this song. So I think like it's this like whole like thing, like you meditate on something enough and it's just like running in the background. Like I wake up and it was like confidence, babe. Like, yeah, I don't know why. It's just the instrumental and his voice and, like, yeah, like, I'm feeling more confident in my skin and who I am. And like, everything is kind of like clicking and making sense. It's like making mistakes and then learning and then getting dysregulated and then getting re-regulated and, regulators. Like, I don't know. Like, I just am feeling pretty darn good about like a lot of things, which is like awesome. Like, I feel like for the first time in a really long time, if ever, like, I feel like I am like living my life on my terms. It's not about what somebody is expecting of me. It is not about what somebody wants of me. It's not like what I feel this obligation I must do. Like, it is all like things I want to and or have to do. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, I want to pay my bills, but I do want to pay my bills because I want the, privilege of having a roof over my head, and I want to get gas because I want to drive my vehicle. So yeah, I mean, those things are even wants. So like, I'm feeling very privileged in my life, like, and where I'm at. Like, it is so refreshing. And so like, I'll tackle a little bit. So like first off, like today was kind of a cool day. Like, so, my son, he is like pulling teeth with, this whole college process. And like, I get it. I get his perspective. And like, I hear in my head, just let him be, like, let him do what he wants to do. Because I don't want to live a life where somebody's telling me, and I've already lived this life, but where somebody's telling me what it is I should be doing, or I'm not doing right, or, like all those conventional things that everybody, expects. You go here and then you go here, and you go to high school and then you graduate, then you go to college and then you graduate, then you get a job or you go to more college. And, it's just this like same, like, mundane rat race, and it's fine. Like, there is absolutely nothing wrong if that is what excites you, if that is what fuels you, if that is what makes you feel safe, if that is what makes you feel like you're living, then you're living. I'm just saying, there are some people like me, there are some people like my son that it's like, that isn't my path. But it was pretty cool today. Not that like there's any like belief, or maybe there is a belief, I don't know, but like he had like a college interview with like an Ivy League school, and so like it was just kind of cool, like the whole thing. And I was like, I 1000% do not care like what the outcome of it is, because it was like, he started doing preparation for it. And like, my daughter's super helpful. She sends TikToks and like, oh, here's what to expect from this, Ivy League's, interview. And here's what you should say. And da 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 da. And like, my whole point to him was like, at first it's like you kind of like get caught up in the thing, and it's like, oh yeah, go and explain this and this and whatever, as he's asking for advice, like here, like here's some suggestions. And then I said, you know what, actually just ignore all that. And I always said, so many times in life we are trying to fit into somebody else's box. We are trying to fit into this schools box. We are trying to fit into this jobs box. We are trying to fit into this relationships box. Like, we are trying to change who we are to fit in. And I was like, the truth of the matter is, Dylan, that your best bet is to go in there and be you. You are unique. You are different. You have your own stories and passions that are very different from anybody else this interviewer is likely interviewing. And so, yes, maybe your interview, even though it'll be great and you're going to share your things, maybe it won't result in an acceptance to this school. But the bigger lesson here is, number one, be yourself. And if you don't fit into that school, then that school just wasn't meant for you at this time. It doesn't mean that that door closes next year or the following year or the following year or 6 years or 10 years from now. Like, it just means right now, like, that wasn't for you. And that's okay. Like, I think that we have to, like, be really honest. Like, you know, he was like, can I talk about, you know, my, like, how I've gone from, you know, being a kid that was, you know, wanting to play soccer and, you know, really dedicated to this passion, and then, you know, had this unexpected, you know, setback, and this unexpected situation happened. And then I was kind of confronted with, like, oh, what do I do now? Like, do I sit here and feel like depressed? Do I sit here and, you know, not participate in any forms of the sport? Like, what is it I want to do? And, you know, what had, you know, called to him, because he was now, like, you know, limited physically on what he could do. And, you know, like, still, he's still not even cleared to, like, do practices or anything like that. But, like, even within those limitations, he was like, I wanted to find what I could do. And so, you know, he found the video gaming. And like I said, I've never been, like, a gamer, and I've never really, like, I'm like, go out there and live life. Like, why are we just playing games? But I understand now, like, this is the evolution of life for them. Like, this may not have been the norm in our generation, in my generation, and the generations prior to mine, but it is a big part of theirs, and it is a part of their socialization. It is part of, like, their thing. So it's like, this video game gave him an opportunity to still, like, compete. And, like, that was a big part of it. So it's like, he also did, like, volunteering and things like that, but that didn't allow him to compete still in this sport that he adored. Like, that, you know, as an athlete, I assume, you know, get this little, like, a lot of them get that, like, a little rush, a little dopamine hit. Like, you're in competition. It's a different mode than when you're in practice mode, even though you're supposed to practice like you're in a game, you know, things like that. And the better you practice, you know, in practice, you know, then when you go to the game, it's just more natural. It's like they say, what is it? Like, something like, the more you practice, like, the less you'll bleed in war, or something like that. Like, but I believe that to be true. So, you know, he's had this opportunity to utilize this additional time he had, this passion he has for the sport, and able to put it on a virtual thing that's, like, helped him. He was like, it's actually increased, like, as he's, like, watched his teammates play. He's like, I feel like I have a broader vision of the game as a result of this. So I say all this to say, I'm not a gamer, but I am fascinated to hear his story and his experience and his reasons why. And then you're like, oh, I get this now. And, like, you know, like, it's super exciting to see, like, somebody, like, have, you know, the courage to shift when they're faced with kind of a tragedy. And I think that that's so important, because there is just no guarantees that we are not going to hit a tragedy in our life. And, like, our choices, how we respond, is, like, what means more than that, you know, incident in itself. So I was like, absolutely, talk about whatever it is you want. Like, whatever you're energetic about, whatever you're passionate about, talk about that, you know. And, you know, think of questions, like, you know, think of, like, you know, on a personal level, like, you know, like, an interviewer wants to make a connection, you know, with you, like, somebody, and this is just my opinion. I'm not an interviewer. I'm not an HR department, but I'm a person, and I love people. I love watching their faces light up when you ask a question about them or when you compliment them. And so like he said that one of his question was, I think he said was, what is it like to go to class when it's snowing? Like, like that's, as a California kid, that's not something you've ever experienced. It's like it rains and they're like, okay, is the school going to close down for the rain? I mean, it's never happened, but like, they're hopeful, but like, it's an interesting question, and it's a, something to consider when you're thinking about, going to a school on the other side of the country. And so, yeah, like I am like, I could care less like what the result of that is. I'm just so glad that he was out of his comfort zone and, participated in the interview with pneumonia. And he's like, you being willing to do this, like, just shows your commitment, that you're even sick and you're here willing to, participate in this interview. It, like shows a lot about your character. So yeah, I thought, it's great. And I have to say, like, it is so true. Like, we just don't know. And like, it's so funny. Like today I drove like extra careful because it was like everybody like around me when I like going to the gym. I missed the gym last night because I was at my son's game, and one of my sweet friends texts and is just like, missed you yesterday. Just wanted to send you a special greeting today. And we chatted for a second. I said, okay, I'll see you today. And she was so sweet, like set up my little mat and got me some weights and all that stuff. And so like, just so nice. And she was just like, drive careful, because it was raining today. And I didn't even know it was going to rain. Like the last few days have been so gorgeous and lovely and like the perfect days, because it's like the sun is out, but yet there's still like a little coolness in the air. So it's like not too hot, not too cold. It was just lovely. And like, I just like, I don't have time to sit here and like, before, like I would prioritize like, what's the weather going to be like? And like have all this like angst about, is it gonna be cold, is it gonna be hot, like watch the news and all this stuff. And now like I don't even bother with the news. I will find out when I open up my curtains or hear the rain or feel the warmth of the sun. Like I will know what the day is gonna be like. I'm not I don't know. It's not like it's that much big of a variation, but I just honestly had no clue like rain was coming. And so when I flung my curtains open this morning, I was like, what the heck? It's like overcast and it looks like it's about to rain. I'm like, where did this come from? I thought we were like in spring. And I think it's tomorrow, right? Because is tomorrow February 1st? Stop it. Like, where the heck does this month go? Like, how are we, 1/12 done with 2024? Like, I feel like it just got going, but I am so proud of myself. My gratitude gushings jar, like after I do today, I will have completed a full month of my little colorful Post-its and like so many things I'm grateful for in there. Like, it is crazy. So like, that is super cool. But yeah, like where the heck does time go? Like it's just moving, cruising so fast. So anyways, like, yeah, I don't even know what I was saying, but I just didn't even expect like, oh, tomorrow, February 1st. So I think it's Groundhog's Day then, right? I have to like remember, like, I'm pretty sure it is. And I remember thinking yesterday, I'm like, I don't remember if it's the one where he sees the shadow and there's more winter, or he doesn't see the shadow and there isn't more. So whatever the one is, I was like, okay, there's the winter. It's going to be a short winter this year. And so, I don't know what's going to happen. I remember when the kids were little, we'd like have this whole thing and I'd decorate and I'd have the groundhog. And like, I remember they were like, I think we are the only family that like celebrates this Groundhog Day. I'm like, I don't know. It just was kind of fun. And we would all make our little predictions and stuff like that. So I predicted last year there would be more winter, and that boy, was there more winter. Like, we had crazy like storms last year, like fences blowing down. Like it was just like from this time of year, like on, I think we had like so much snow in Tahoe. But a lot of rain. I mean, we needed it, right? Because in California, we were in a drought. And, so yeah, I just had this feeling that there wasn't going to be any more winter. So when I opened my curtains this morning and there was clearly winter, I was like, oh, okay, all right, okay, we're still in it here. I don't mind. I actually do like the rain. There are parts about the rain that I really like because it like almost gives me like permission to stop and be like, okay, you are staying home and you are getting this work done or whatever it is. So there's parts of it like I'm grateful for because it doesn't like vibe me up to like want to be like, okay, let's go somewhere, let's go do something, like, and I'm really in this mode where I'm just cleaning house. I'm cleaning out things. Like I want to this weekend. I'm thinking I cleaned up my closet recently, but I could still clearly do a clean out because what do I wear every day? Lululemon leggings and tank tops. And you know, like I said, the reason why I wear it is I don't have to think about it beyond like, which color am I feeling today? And like oftentimes I'm already changing it 2 or 3 times because if I've sweated in it, like I'm like, all right, time to go to the next one. And then, but yeah, and then it's just like my uniform. It's like, okay, it's still in workout mode. I still have my steps to do. Like if I'm in jeans or a dress, like I'm not doing my steps in a jeans or dress. So like, it's comfortable. It's easy. I don't have to think about it as long as I don't have like a hole in my butt, like again. And I was like, oh my gosh, like last week was the week that like the mirror came falling down. I had a hole in my butt. Like I was just like, I just still can't even believe like I walked around the world with a hole in my butt. Like, oh my gosh. Sometimes it's like, well, how does this happen? You know? So like every time I'm squatting or bending over, I'm like, are we good here? I was like, if not, someone's getting a good show here today. But, yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know it was going to rain. Like, I just did not see that coming. I should have, but I just didn't. And so, but I like it. I actually enjoy the rain. I don't have any qualms. Like I left the gym the other day and my friend was like trying to put an umbrella over me and I was just dancing in the rain. I'm like, why not just dance in the rain? I'm already wet with sweat. At least now I'm just getting it washed off before I get in the shower at home. So yeah, that was that. And then, yeah, I got to, get a lot of things done. I helped my daughter. So my daughter is also applying to some colleges for like different nursing programs. So I got to help her with like some of the essay things. Like I really am. I feel like I'm pretty good at that, but the problem is I have to be like in the right mindset. And like she had sent me this stuff like a week before and I just like, I was not vibing on the essay. I was not vibing on how it was flowing. And I just like, I couldn't get in the headspace of it. And I was like trying to like help her give edits. And I was like, listen, this whole thing needs to get scrapped. I mean, there's parts in here that are good, but you know, this would be my suggestion. I would scrap it and go kind of in this direction. And, you know, she took the like constructive feedback very well and was like, went back and reread it. I'm like, I just don't even follow it. Like, I know your life and I know the story and I am confused. Like, I don't, you know, and she was like, yeah, I can kind of see. And so, you know, so she worked all day today so I was up until like 2 last night because I was just going. Like, finally, I was like in the headspace. Once I was like, I tried editing. I sent her those and I was like, listen, but I honestly would be like, this is the direction I would go. So then she spent today rewriting. And then before I hopped on here, I just, you know, did some small minor, you know, revision edits or whatever of her, you know, her thing. And so like moving, you know, like this sentence didn't flow here or whatever, just silly things. But I really enjoy like helping that. I really enjoy like, you know, hearing like the fabric of their lives, like on paper. Like it's so interesting, you know, because again, like I say, like if there was a study in college of people's stories, and maybe there is, like, I don't know what that is. Like, I love people and I love their stories. I love like just being kind. Like today, like going into the gym, like so many people were just really kind. And I was very kind to them too, but like just very kind. Like, you know, it's so funny, but like what I was getting to 10 minutes ago here was like, so many of them kept telling me like, it's just random different people and not with each other. And, you know, I was thinking about it as I watched the car. They were like, drive careful, drive careful. And so today I was like, I'm curious, you know, like I usually drive fairly careful, you know, it maybe fast, but I'm fairly careful. I don't like tailgate and do those kind of things. But like, I was like, I'm just going to really take to heart what they have to say. Like, maybe something in this universe is telling them to tell me to drive careful. And so I drove very slow today home, very cautious. I was like 10 and 2. I was ready to go, like on alert, you know, wasn't in a hurry. I listened to good music, you know, I wasn't in a podcast mood, but I have like got or podcast or audio, mostly it's audiobooks. But the funny thing is I need to write it because my resolution was 24 books in 24. And I, you know, was like, okay, you know, like that's totally doable. I was like, there's 12 months, you know, that's 2 books a month. That's totally doable. I had like yesterday, because I listened to him in this like accelerated speed. While I was walking around the track at Tyler's soccer game, I was able to literally get 87% through one of the books because it was like a short one. But I got in the car today and I was like, okay, let me see. And I looked, I was like, wow, I'm already almost done with this one. So by the time I put it on, it was like a very little part of a chapter. And then next thing you knew was like the end of the book. I was like, oh, well, I cruised through that one. So I really have to write them down. So I have this like, when I first started going to the gym that first year to encourage me to go to more classes and get out of my comfort zone, it was like 52 different like instructors or classes for the year. And so like if it was like say it was like a Zumba class, like it just like Zumba didn't count as like only one. It was like if I did a Zumba, because every instructor has their own finesse, flair, playlists. So they're all very different classes, even though they're the same. And maybe like you'll hear like, oh, I did this song before, but everybody does it a little bit different. They have that creative freedom that like brings out who they are, which is like one of the really coolest, like one of my favorite parts about it is because you like get to see a piece of their character. It's like they're partially an entertainer out there, right? Like there are some people that are more, you know, like, you know, shaky buddy. There's more people that are more salsa, more moving their hips, or, you know, some people that like more of a hip hop style, some people that like older music. Like, so it's just really cool to like kind of like you get a little glimpse into their heart and their thing, because they're not playing songs they don't like, right? They're the master of the playlist. Like if I'm gonna have to sit here and learn choreo or, you know, plan how I'm gonna move in this song, I'm not gonna pick a song I don't like. So yeah, it's kind of fun. So I ended up doing that and I got to like 52, I think in like October or something. So I had like, I panicked for like a long time. Like, oh my gosh, you know, I really have to do this. But it was really cool because I took a lot of classes. I may have never taken, and some I really did like, and I was like, oh wow, I wouldn't have given this a chance, and I like it. And then some of them were like, yeah, one and done. That was cool, that was fun, but it just doesn't speak to me. That is a hard no workout for me. And but I love that there is so much variety, that there is something for everyone. Like there are people that want to go in there and get their butts kicked, and there are that options. There is that option for them, and there are people out there that just want to dance, and there's that option. So you know, I think life is cool like that. Like there is a little bit of something for everyone. So yeah, like I don't even know where I'm going again, but yeah, so I have I did my books. Okay, so I have to put that down. So that was 1 year's resolution, and I don't think last year I really had one. Nothing had kind of spoke to me, nothing I could think of. And then I like the other part about it being January 31st. That's like, oh my gosh, is like I have for like, I don't know, maybe 15 years, maybe my whole life, have literally wanted to always do a vision board. And like, I have files on my computer that say vision board. And I like will find things, and like last year I probably spent hours and hours and hours like finding things and like really contemplating it, yet never really put it together, and kind of like slapped a couple things, like I think 3 things on it, and was like, okay. And like one of them was like a purse, and so like I like immediately was like, okay, I just need these things to come through, so I'm gonna buy myself this purse. It didn't even matter. Like I literally never even used the purse. I've used it like 5 times. It sits in a bag. I don't, I take my little Lululemon bag everywhere, or my like fanny pack that I wear across my body, like with my stuff in it, just because it's super convenient and sporty and easy. It fits my AirPods, my Purell, my hand lotion, some money, my phone. I call it a day. Like I don't want to have something else to like worry about these, like these responsibilities. I'm trying to get out of the responsibility business. So yeah, I really, really want to do a vision board. And so I think what the challenge is like, like some of the visions like that I want to do, like I have to like think about it, because, I think about it on a level of like, back to like my weight loss is like, if I sit here and make this crazy goal, and like my vision board has fat boats and even fatter houses with, pools with grottos and waterfalls and, extravagant vacations, and hell, I think that there's a part of me, like, I know it's really good to like dream big and have like, I need to have like one that's like the end, like the, like the piece de la resistance, like the, hey, look, mom, I made it, like one. And then like one that has like some really achievable things. Like, I feel like my brain needs to know like, oh, okay, we can do this. So it's like, it needs to have some basics on there. Like, okay, before we're going on a world cruise for a year, we need to have like, a spa weekend in Napa or something, like I want a mix of like, cause I do believe like anything you believe is possible, like anything you want and put focus and energy and time and make a plan for it. Like, I do believe that is achievable, but I also like have this part of me that is like, I need confirmation. I need to know these things work. I need to know like it works. And so in order to do that, like, I feel like I need to throw in some like things, like not just, the Lambo with bling everywhere. Like, I need to put my Tomo water bottle on there because I still haven't ordered it. And like, I got this coupon for, cause I told you I'm frugal. So, it's going to be a hard pill to swallow to like plunk down the money on the Lambo when you're, struggling over here to spend X amount of dollars on a water bottle with bling on it. That's going to make you happy every time you see it. So, but, yeah, so like I got this coupon for 50% off for the water bottle. But there was only select ones. And it was like, I have never been like this Valentine's person. Like, it is never, again, probably goes back to the fact that like, I legitimately didn't love myself, or so, so like, I think it comes back to this. And it was funny. I was talking to my son this morning, like after his interview and things like that. And I happened to see this rock. And so like, I was like, okay, like, I started talking to him. I was like, okay, it's been a while. I have to do one of my like talks. And, he always sits there and humors me. I love this kid. And so it was funny. Like, I was talking about how like, I think it was after the interview thing, and I just said, some things like are meant for you and some things aren't, and some like sometimes you get a lesson in something and it's applicable now, and sometimes it doesn't make sense until later. And I was like, I just like to believe that the whole universe is connected like that. Like, it gives me some peace and comfort. And so I went on and told him the whole story about my stone and everything. And it was funny because in the part where I was like, yeah, like when I was a little kid, I used to always say like, nobody loves me, nobody cares. Like if I was ever upset, like that was my go-to. That was my my thing. And it wasn't like I was just saying it for attention. It was like I just genuinely believed nobody loved me, nobody cared. Like that's just how I felt. And like there were so many instances in like my childhood that like confirmed this belief in my mind, right? Like there were many instances that would have debunked this belief as well, like, but there were so many times where like I was a recipient of like unkind behavior, or you know, just not, I don't know. So it just, to me, my brain confirmed it was true. But the funny thing about, not the funny thing, a sad thing or whatever you want to call it, but the thing was he had interrupted me then and he was like, you've said that even recently. And I was like, I have? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm going to tell you, maybe it could be a right hand thing. But I think the difference is now I legitimately feel it. Like I feel the love I have for myself. And so I didn't ask him like, when in the timeline was this? Like, what is recent? Is that a year ago? Is that 2 years ago? Was that yesterday? Like, you know, there are some questions there that I didn't ask. But like, I was like, wow, you know, I said, well, that's kind of interesting. Well, thank you for letting me know that. And I was like, and then, you know, again, I went into the whole thing and I was like, so this is like a reminder to me. And, you know, I did this meditation, and this morning's meditation was this, like, I tried to dabble in something else. It was like kind of like a guided one on focus or whatever. I was like, I'll try that this morning. And the funny thing is it was like pick a word and, you know, just have that word or a phrase or whatever kind of going through your mind. And so the word instantly, like I picked love. And then I wanted to like backtrack because I was like, I wanted to like, I just didn't feel comfortable in it still. And so like, I felt myself like being like doubting, like that's the word I should use, or, you know, maybe there's something else I could be like, what? And then I was like, no, this is exactly what you need to be doing. So I kept, that was like kind of like the word that was going around in my mind. And then, but yeah, so I've never been this like Valentine's, and, you know, I think it's probably too like, when you don't feel loved, like I didn't see a lot of love displayed, you know, as like beyond TV, like the relationships that I saw around me, which are probably just everybody's relationship. But like my grandparents argued, my parents obviously terribly argued, my aunties, they all did, like, and I'm not saying that arguing doesn't mean love, because I know like I have argued with my kids and I know I love my kids, like there's no question there. But like, yeah, it just never connected with me. And it's never been a big day so like I did buy myself a heart necklace like many years ago. I just wanted one, and I really liked it, and I was like, I'm gonna buy it. So I bought myself this diamond little heart necklace thing, and it was like really like symbolic to me, like I could buy myself something and I could get what I wanted and I could wear it. Like it's probably like the necklace I wear the most. I don't have too much jewelry after like having been robbed. Like most of it was stolen. And then like I also like learned the lesson, like, why am I putting so much like value into something that like can just so easily be lost or stolen? And I'm not saying that they will, but it just is like, I just was like, I'm putting so much effort or money or time into something that's like, it just doesn't, there's so many other things I could be putting that money into. So I just am not like, I'm not a super big jewelry person anymore. I do like little pieces, like basic things or whatever. But, before I loved jewelry. I had like rings and bracelets and earrings and necklaces. I had so much lovely jewelry that was either I bought, that was gifted to me, that I inherited. Like there was like a long line of things, and I was just so crushed after the robbery, like I just felt so like violated, and I felt so irresponsible. I felt so like I let down the future generations, because now this, like in a relay race, right? The baton was with me, the jewelry was with me, but it was only with me temporarily. Then when I was going to be on to the beyond the other way, you know, no longer alive, or when I was alive and could have shared, you know, to see their joy, like, and given it to my daughters or granddaughters or, you know, daughter-in-laws or cousin, whoever I wanted to, friends, I failed them. I failed them, like, by not being able to keep these treasures safe. I now affected the generations to come that were also supposed to inherit, especially the inheriting ones. Those ones hurt a lot, you know, or like, you know, like something special, like your, you know, like a special piece or things like that. Yeah, just difficult. So like, so it just like gave me this aversion where I'm like, I'm not going to prioritize like these material things that, like, you know, I don't know, it's just not that big of a deal. It's not, you know, whatever. So yeah, I don't wear a whole lot, but I did buy myself a heart jewelry, which is, you know, which was interesting. But they had these, back to the cup, they had these like 50% off, but it was only for Valentine's ones. And I was like, I don't want to walk around. Like if there was a solid pink, I would have totally bought it at 50% off. But like, I don't want to freaking heart on my water bottle. I'm not that girl. I'm not that. They had like pink cheetah stuff. I'm not that girl either. Like that was like my daughter in 5th grade, you know, like, and I'm not the pink cheetah kind of girl. Yeah, so none of them like spoke to me. So I'm just being patient, and I'm still excited about I can see it. So like, that's what I'm saying is like, for my vision board, I feel like I need to put some things on there that are like basic. Like this is a $100 item, you know, this isn't like a $100 million yacht, you know, like we will get there. I have no doubt if in my mind that if I want a $100 million yacht, I will eventually, someday, some way, somehow get there. But I'm not sure that I want that. And so I need to like start on like, I want to build up. Like, so like, I don't know if that means I do 2 vision boards. I just need to do one actual vision board. Cause like I said, I have folders full of cars and houses and like handbags and, you know, again, like, I don't know. So I think like my vision board, I need to like think about this like a little bit more. And I think that's where I start getting stuck, because I'm like, well, what is it I want? You know, if I'm putting it on there, it's coming. And do I really want this? And I like get all here in my head in a way, because I'm like, okay, you gotta be serious about this. And so like, it's not serious. You know, like I could rip something off and be like, I no longer want this. Like I've looked at this long enough to be like, this thing is pissing me off. I don't like it. I don't want it. Like, let's pick another one. But I think like for me, like that would be super important, is like to just reaffirm the things like that I either am already doing or want to continue doing, in addition to like some small things and then the big things too. So like doing this, like this should be on my vision board. Like, you know, buying a webpage, like that should be on a vision board. Like, you know, because I like the wins. I like saying my goal is to lose 1 pound. And when I lose 1 pound, I'm like, hell yeah, you know, like that was my goal and that was it. And it was able to give me this confidence to keep going, that confidence that this process works, that if you put time, energy, focus into anything, good results will come. You put those 10,000 hours in, good results will come. You will get the results you want. You just have to have the patience and the diligence and the discipline to stick with it. And sometimes we just need to know, like, I feel like this question my therapist posed, like, what is it I want? Well, I don't really kind of sometimes know, because I'm getting better at it. But like when you ask me, it's like I want to first defer to everybody. Well, what does everybody else want? What is the like and I'm not saying that that's going to guide my decision, because better, and I'm now like, before I would not even give anyone like, what do you want for dinner, and if it is something I do want and I'm thinking I kind of really want this, like I am going to say that, or I'm going to get that for myself. I feel like before it was like I didn't even have a voice in the thing, like, and sometimes, like I say, I suppressed wants so much that like it's still very foreign to me to like think about and to really understand, unless sometimes it was like, I want to hear this song and I want to hear it now, like I want this for lunch and I'm having this for lunch. Like there's certain things that like I'm able to like with definitive, like, nope, this is happening. Like I want this and this, like I'm going to have this. But other things, it's like, I just kind of don't know. And so I think that is symbolic to like how my life has gone. And so like, when I was thinking about it, like I've been thinking about it, like I had to hang it on my wall so that I could like, because I had it on the dresser, but I was like, I'm gonna hang it on the wall, because if I hang it on the wall, I will see this more. And I've been really thinking about it, because it's like I'm at the phase of my life, because remember, this is the Natasha season for me, and this is where I need to be. Like I feel like it is like, like a nucleus, like a onion or something, like at the center is you, right? And like you have to be okay, and then you go to the level 2, and then that's like relationships, like with other people, and you start building like, closer, and then like more distant, like you start building up. But it's got to start here. And like if I'm not good, if I'm not okay, I'm not good or okay in any of these relationships, and like I want to be great. Like I want to have great relationships. I want to have great friends. I want to have great companions. Like I want to have great relationships with my kids. And it's it's so fun. It's just so funny. Like even my son today, like we were talking about something, and I was like, just reflecting back on like how much like the impact on their lives, like my decision to respond with healthy communication has affected them. Like they're now using these things. Like it is so funny. It is just like, wow, it was that easy. Like why did it take me 4 kids and 24 years of parenting to like get this lesson, like to like understand that this form of communicating with my children is an option. And I don't have to get all hyped up in whatever they're hyped up about, and I don't have to go down the path with them. Like they can go down their own path, and I'll be here and say, how can I show up and how can I support you? Like, but I am not going down the drain with you, like I don't have to, like, this is not my obligation to do that. So yeah, like I feel, confused again. I don't know. I guess I don't know why this happens. Like I start going and I forget where I'm going. Like something else pops in my mind, and I'm like, oh. So then I'm sitting here like stalling. Like what the heck was I even talking about? And then it comes. Okay, so my wants, like I don't know, and I didn't know. And then today when I was driving, I was thinking about it, and it was like, I just, what I want is to live the life I want, to have the option to make the choices that I want, even though I will take in consideration, because I'm part of a family, right? So you need to make compromises. It's not like, oh, it's my way or the highway. I'm just doing whatever I want. And no. Like, no, like I also want to be a part of a family, and I want friends, which means that what comes with that is compromise and communication. And, I think that that's important. So like, I want those things too. But I think it's just important because there's just been so many decisions in my life that have been based on another person's wants and another person's needs that were major decisions. And I think this going forward, I now have that reflection and that information to say, like, no, I think from here on, like, I'm not going to make a major decision just because you want this or you want that. So, like, I think that asking myself that question is important. It's kind of like, you know, sitting down and almost doing like a vision board in a way, because it's like, well, right, what is in your vision board? It's things that you want, things you want to experience, things that you need, you know, whatever it may be. And like, it's a vision of how you would like your life to look like. I mean, I remember I can't remember who it was, but I remember I've watched Survivor. I have like 2 seasons right now. I haven't watched, but I've watched every episode. And I remember one lady on there, and I thought it was so cool. Like, she had this, like, I don't know if it was a vision board or whatever, but she had like pinned something at her work. I believe it was many years ago, about being a Survivor contestant. And then it happened. Like, and I'm not saying that, oh, I'm going to hang it up and now it happens. And just leave it up to fate in the universe. Maybe it works like that. I don't think so. I think you still have to put like energy and, you know, faith. Like, you know, if you say, I want to win the lottery, and you don't buy a ticket, well, I mean, one's not going to just float into your door and be like, oh, here's my $1 million lottery ticket. I didn't even have to buy the ticket. It just fell into my lap. You know, like, there are some actions and things that I believe you need to take in order to achieve those things. But yeah, like, if you don't have a defined goal, like, you're just kind of all over the map. And that's kind of sometimes where I have been. And I think, like, getting that focus and getting that quiet, I think the meditation is actually helping quiet my mind, but it's helping, like, to guide me in the direction of helping me to understand what it is I want today, which may be different than what I want tomorrow. So it's okay. It's all fluid and changing. It doesn't have to all be the same. But as long as there is some action and some plan and thought, you know, of what it is, I think is huge. So yeah, I think that that's cool. And like I said, I love hearing stories. Like, I was so impressed by my daughter's, you know, thought in her essays about, you know, the impact. So she loves healthcare. She loves medicine. She was like privileged to participate in a biomedical pathway in her high school, which was just so fascinating. Like, you know, one class she walked in the first day and it's like taped out, like, where somebody had died, and that, you know, their processes was like to understand throughout the year or semester to like go through and figure out what happened. So it was like, you know, they were like, you know, was it this? Was it, you know, liver? You know, like, they had to rule things out. They would have, so I just thought it was just such, and it was like very collaborative, very teamwork, very like critical thinking. Like, I just adored these classes, and she just thrived in them. And then she ended up doing a program at Stanford for a summer, and that was just so good for her. Like, it was just, they took their phones. They didn't have phones for like the week. Then on Sunday I got to come visit, and so I would pick her up and we'd go eat, and we'd often go to the beach and just talk about how she was that week and all the experiences she was having and what she was learning. It was such a supportive environment. And it, like, you know, not having the phone, they all loved it, they said, but immediately, of course, they all went back to him. But like, they like really developed relationships with one another because they weren't like distracted by the phone or what was going on, or a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever else may be calling at them, their family, friends, you know, whatever. It was like they really got to focus on the program and the participants. And I thought that that was just so old school, and I loved it, and so did they. Like, at that first they were all like, oh, what, no, but they all ended up, were like, we thought it was going to be the worst thing, and we actually like are so grateful that we had this opportunity to like you know, addict ourselves from the phone. But yeah, so it was kind of cool. And then she originally went into college planning on going into medicine and going pre-med, but like, it was really difficult going in during her COVID year. You know, she was experiencing things at home, like so many different things that she was going through. It just wasn't the time or place for her. And like, she just, you know, listened to people who had like negative comments about it. And she took it really to heart. And she's done other things and she's thrived in these other classes, but somehow she's come back to medicine. And so now she's doing some applications and things like that, and like kind of like just exploring what different opportunities are out there for her to, you know, be a part of healthcare. But it was so fascinating to hear her story as like, I know the story of my kids as the mom, right? But to hear the story and how it impacted her as their sibling, and you know, and in the case of like my auntie and my uncle, like those were like her grandparents. She literally called them grandma and grandpa, but like to hear the impact on her, and you know, like the compassion she had, and how it taught her how to be like really focused and calm, and be able to like support somebody who is having a seizure. You know, be able to, you know, see how kind all the doctors and staff and nurses were when her brother was having brain surgery. Like, to, you know, have her dolls that had, you know, she had drawn little stitches on so it looked like her brother, and, you know, she had made like little makeshift, you know, medical tools, and then would take them to the doctor's appointments with us. And, you know, so it's just, I think like so much of life is like, it happens by chance, right? Like we don't know, like, I mean, maybe it's not by chance, maybe it's all thought out, and, you know, it's, you know, like it's, you know, gonna happen regardless or whatever. But a lot of it is like chance. Like last week there, by chance, we were no longer doing child's pose. And when that mirror crashed, nobody was hurt. Like that, somebody could have really, I mean, I am talking, I think they're 12-foot ceilings, heavy, big mirror that just went shattered and flew in. It didn't fly in anybody's eyes. It didn't, you know, hit anybody in the head. It would have definitely hit 3, maybe 4 people had the timing been different. So it's just by chance. Like, you know, it's the same thing with like a car accident or anything. So it's like, I really took that to heart when everybody was saying today, like, drive careful, drive careful. And I was like, I'm just not going to take a chance. Like, okay, maybe there's no reason and I could not drive carefully and make it home. But like, if I listen to these people and I drive very carefully and I make it home 5 minutes later than I would have before, like, wouldn't that have been worth it? Like, what is the risk and reward? So I'm like, I'm just going to cruise. So, but it also makes me think, like, it takes me back to like what I was saying earlier, is like, it makes me feel very loved, like to have these people who, you know, not too long ago didn't know my name and I didn't know theirs. I didn't know these classes existed. And over time, and there's not like there's that much time in between, but we've developed relationships, and, you know, they are kind and generous, and they appreciate the energy that I bring into the classroom, or I bring into my dance, or, you know, like when I'm laughing and joking around, like, you know, they enjoy it. And I'm glad that they do, because I really enjoy them too. Like, I love hearing their stories. I love hearing about where they're from and how they came here, and their kids, and some of them their grandkids. Like, I just think it's really cool, the things that they enjoy eating, you know, their husbands. Like one lady today, I love her. She was so good to me, like from the jump, like, and she was the one who always encourages me to move up and go to the front and things like that. So, you know, I adore her. She was like, you know, like I say, one of the first ones to be kind to me in that class. And that just like made me feel so welcomed and supported in there. And, you know, we've gone to like lunch or done things like that, like as a group. And she's so darn cute. Her husband is so cute. He always drops her off, but he was up there working out, and he didn't know he had his little iPad. He had his earphones on. He was up there working out, and we were all watching him. And then all of a sudden he catches us and we all start waving and he just smiles and waves back, and they're just so cute. I really adore getting to know all these people and being a little piece of their life. And, it's so funny when I hear like, oh, people are like, oh, I'm watching you. I'm like, okay, well then I'll try not to like cheat or mess up over here. Cause I'm like, unless you want me to cheat, like, is today a cheat day? Are we going light today? Cause I will go light for you then, and they'll laugh and stuff like that. And then they're like, how many calories did you burn? I'm like, I don't know, 600. I don't know. How much did you burn? And, so it's just kind of fun. And it's just, today was one of those days when I just felt so good dancing. Like I just had probably because I didn't get to dance yesterday. And so like when you come, well, I did in the morning. So I don't know what I'm crying about over here, but, I did dance yesterday, and I had a great time, but today there was something about it. It hit different. It was like the playlist. I think that playlist always like impacts it too. Like I want it to be a challenge, but don't kill me over here. Okay. Listen, cause I'm with you at the 110%. So, if you're going 110, I'm right next to you trying at least. I'm at least at 100 and, I'm dying over here. But I had a really good time. There was great energy in the room and great people. So it was good. So it's been a good day. Like I cooked a great lunch. Like it was just like one of those things that I was like, what do we have here? Because I cannot eat any more of these foods that we have. Like, so I just like threw together, and I don't, like I say, I don't like cooking because like it literally was a 2-hour process between cooking it and eating it and then cleaning it up. It was 2 hours. I was like, wow, that was 2 hours of my life just not getting back. It was great while I was eating it and it was fun, I guess, to be creative. Like it was just random, chicken. I really wanted pasta today. So I was like, it was chicken and pasta and sun-dried tomatoes and mushrooms. But like by the time you cut the stuff and the garlic, oh, and then I made some bomb. Oh my God, I love garlic bread. Like it is so good, especially like in a sauce or whatever. Oh, heaven. So I made some bussin' like garlic bread. It was so good. I wanted a salad too, but I was like, I just literally ran out of time and I didn't get to make my salad and I was so full by the end of it, but I ate good. And then Dylan ate lunch with me and we brought Tyler up food because he's still sick too, like these kids. And then tomorrow is the in-town rival game and I'm kind of excited for it and then still kind of sad because it like marks kind of like the unofficial end of the soccer season for Foothill High School. And so, like again, this isn't the season we had planned for Dylan and Dylan had planned for himself, but it was what we had. And so I feel like we did the best we could with the circumstances. And so what's important about this is like the 3 of the guys that were just so supportive of Dylan during his brain surgery. And like, they were just buddies. They called themselves the Core 4. 2 of them have come back to soccer. So anyways, they are all gonna get together and do a picture tomorrow. And that just makes my heart warm. And then like, it was just so weird because they go to the different school and like, they used to always be like, Dylan's got to come to Amador, like can't go to Foothill. And, but what makes my, like, it's so funny because you see these kids since they were 5, 6 years old. Right. And then suddenly like, they're going to go off and live their life. Like a lot of Brad's friends I'd never seen again after high school. Like, so like, it's just this weird thing, like where it's like, I'll still see them on Facebook and things like that through their parents, but like, it's not like the last time, but it's almost like the last time I know I'm going to see them. The other ones are going to be by chance or by luck. Right. And so like to just get another picture, because like we have ones when they're like super little with their little Core 4 and they came all the way out to the hospital and they were pushing him around in the wheelchair. And one kid, he is just he had no like it was just like Dylan was normal. It wasn't, you know, like he didn't even see the scars. He didn't see how sick he was. He just was like, yeah, I'm your buddy. You know, there was no like hesitation. He, you know, he was just such a sweetheart. And even like family and, you know, people were like scared and kind of like, oh gosh, or, you know, like it's an intimidating thing to see. And so he was just so cool with that. And like, you know, they're pushing him around and, you know, they just being kids. I love it. But yeah, so we're going to get a picture of the core four together again, reunited, and it feels so freaking good. And I cannot wait to see the parents too, because like I said, they were awesome. They were so supportive of us. Like they like helped to facilitate so that Dylan could have that experience in England and myself as well. And like, it's just so unforgettable. And like I say, like I like hold that so dear in my heart. Like, so to be able to give back anything, anytime, like it means so much to me. Because it's just, I understand. I've been on a side where it was like, I needed something or I wanted something and somebody showed up and like, God, that felt so kind. That felt so good. You felt so unalone and loved and supported. So yeah, I go back to all that. So anyways, we are nearing the time where it's time for me to go. I have so much work to still do, and I have to get up super early. I have a big day tomorrow, super early for my workouts, and then I have Dylan as PT, and then we have this big rival game, which means I'm going to be at the field from like 3 o'clock until 8 o'clock, so it's like 5 hours of, you know, nonstop soccer fun. Yeah, so it'll be Tyler's last game for high school for the season, and then I think they redid it this year, so there's like at least one more game for the foothill team, but this is like the main one that like will mean something to me, you know, like it's the rival one, and mostly because I'll get to see all these players that I've watched since they were young, you know, now very much grown men, young men, ready to embark on the world, like all their greatness. And so, yeah, it's going to be a great day, and I'm excited for it. So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you have an opportunity to maybe think about, what do you want? Like, have you really thought about it? And if you have, good for you. I'm so proud of you. Like, teach me, how do I figure out what it is I want and out of this life I have left? And like, what are your strategies? Like, what are your guys' vision boards? Like, do you do a vision board? Like, is it just like something mental? Like, do you have one? Like, I remember like too, like feeling like, if I do a vision board, like I don't want anybody else to see it. Like I'm kind of secretive in this way. Like I don't want to be judged or questioned about, well, why is it, you know, like, I don't know. I'm very like, protective of certain aspects of myself. And I like, my vision board is one of those things that like, it's nobody's business. This is my vision board. Okay. It's out in the public because it has to be. Like, I don't want to just hit it in my phone, but like, it is mine. I just, you know, and I get that people may be curious, right? Like, cause if I saw one, I'd be like, oh, I'm curious. Cause I'm just so curious person. Right. But I'm like, I just don't want any judgment or anything like that. And so I get like a little bit protective, and I need to let that go. And yeah, but I'm curious, like, what do you guys do? Like, just big goals? Is it all big, you know, or do you have some like, I want to read more? Like, so you have you reading books, or not you, or just books, or whatever it is, however you do yours. I'm fascinated. Please share with me. Let me know. Give me some inspiration and some ideas. But yeah, so I hope that you guys have a lovely day, morning, whatever it is, evening, and just go out there and be kind. I was even kind today to the lady that I, you know, had beef with. I don't have beef with, but she had beef with my instructor. So I then was like, well, now you have beef with me. But today I was kind. I was nice. I was very welcoming and nice to her, and it felt good. I was like, see, now that aligns more with who I am. She's not causing him any trouble now, and I can't punish her for an act I wasn't even there present for. And I just don't want to. I don't want to be part of that drama. Like, she was so grateful because I went in the back and got big towels because they don't leave them in the front anymore. And I brought a few back and I asked her, would you like one? And she was like, so, yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Like, listen, that is my relationship with her. Like, she got the memo. She isn't trying to go in the middle anymore. We cool. Like, don't go in his face, and you can go one section away. You know, that's fine. I don't care. And I will be nice to you because that's what feels good to me. Like, I don't need beef. I don't want the drama. I just want to be out here having a good time. So I say all that to say bye. Mwah. Thank you.